Hi, welcome to engVid.com. I'm Adam. In today's video, we're going to look at a bit of grammar slash vocab, and more specifically, we're going to look at the prefix over. Now, I've made a previous video and I looked at the word under. These kind of go together. You don't need to watch one to understand this one. But if you like this video, then you can watch the other one, get both sides of the equation, as it were, over and under. So what we're going to look at is the word over. Now, the word over is a preposition, okay, and it means more than or too much, or more commonly, when we're talking about position or location, it's like above. So it's over something. Above and over are a little bit different. There's a separate video for that as well. So what we're going to look at is what happens when we join the word over with another word. In most cases, you can probably guess the meaning just by taking the word over and the second word and understand that they go together. For example, overachieve. If you overachieve means you're completing or achieving more than what is expected or more than what is standard. But sometimes you're going to get words that are joined with over that you can't really guess because they don't mean what the two parts mean. For example, overtake. Now, if you think about take over as the phrasal verb, to take over means to assume the position of. So the company's president is retiring and somebody else will take over. Somebody else will become the president and take over that position. But overtake has a different meaning. If you overtake someone, means you pass them. So for example, if there's a race and somebody's in the lead, and somebody else comes from behind and overtakes, means they pass them, they take the lead instead. So that's what overtake means. So you can't exactly guess by looking at the two words separately. So we're going to look at a bunch of verbs and we're going to look at a couple of adjectives and nouns as well. So overcome. So again, no relation between take or come to somebody's house, for example. If you overcome something, it means that you are able to successfully get over an obstacle or a difficulty. So if you have some trouble, let's say with your English, and you watch engVid videos on a regular basis, you will overcome this problem and you will be a fluent English speaker very soon, I hope. Okay? So keep working hard and you will overcome this difficulty. Overestimate. So again, we looked at underestimate, now we're looking at overestimate. When you think about something in terms of its size or its strength or its value, if you overestimate, you think it is more than it actually is, right? So that's where we have the more than. If I overestimate the value of a ring, for example, if I get a ring, a gold and diamond ring, and I think, wow, this is really beautiful. It must be like $10,000. But actually it's 5,000. So I way overestimated its value. Okay, I thought of its value way more than it is. So it's a bit of a bad guess to the over side rather than the underside. Overhaul. To haul something means to carry, but to overhaul is a completely different meaning. When we're looking at a piece of machinery, for example, a car engine, okay, and we overhaul it, means we completely take it apart and we replace all the pieces and rebuild it to make it like new. So we fix something completely, we overhaul it. In business, a new manager comes to the office and he wants to overhaul the processes. Means he wants to change everything, he wants to break them all apart and build brand new processes for the office to increase productivity, for example. If you overhear something, it's like here, but over here, it doesn't mean you hear too much. It means you heard a conversation that you weren't supposed to hear. So two people over there are speaking and they're speaking a little bit loudly so you can overhear. You can actually hear what they're saying. So nothing to do with above or too much. It's more like they're speaking too loudly and that's why you can hear them. Okay? Overlook. Now, if you say look over, means you study something, you look over the facts, make sure everything is okay. If you overlook something, means you missed something. So I was reading all the information and I overlooked a very important detail. Means I missed it. I didn't see it at the first time I was reading it. Could cause problems later on. Overrun. Overrun means when there's just too much of something or people or etc. For example, the situation. If you go to a tourist area, it might be overrun by tourists, not with. Overrun means there's too many and it's spread out too much and you don't enjoy the tourist location. If you go to, for example, in the US, they have something called Black Friday. Okay, Black Friday is a very special shopping day after Thanksgiving where all the stores give very, very big discounts on items. I personally don't like to go shopping on these days because the stores are just overrun by crazy shoppers who want to get the last TV or the last whatever on a very good deal. Stay away from those stores. They're overrun. Override and overrule. These are very similar. Okay. Override means to take away automatic control. When we're talking about a computer or machinery, if you override a command, means you cancel the command and you put a new one. When you're talking about overrule, it's about people. So for example, a judge decided A. Another judge overruled that judge and decided B instead. So to overrule means to put your rule over the other one. So it's a little bit of the above because it's one on top of the other, but the other one is superior or has more authority, and that's why it's the one that counts. And override, the new command for the computer or the machine, is the one that is actually used by the machine or the computer. Okay? Oversee, it doesn't mean see over something. It basically means to supervise. So a little bit means like looking at everything, but nobody actually is seeing anything. They are just in control, in charge, managing. So they're supervising staff. So you oversee the staff, you oversee the process, you oversee the project, means you just supervise. Okay? So these are all verbs. Now, sometimes you have an adjectives that join two words as well with over, and the meaning is a little bit different. When you're talking about overboard, two meanings. The literal meaning is when you're on a ship in the sea and somebody falls over the side of the ship and into the water, so that person went overboard. But if you're talking about a general situation, overboard means a little bit too far, okay? A little bit more than they should have. So if somebody is basically reacting badly to some bad news and they start firing or they start yelling at people, then they've gone a little bit overboard. They've gone a little bit further than they should have, makes other people feel uncomfortable. An overcast sky means just very gray, not necessarily clouds, but just gray, okay? If you're overjoyed, it doesn't mean you're too happy because there's no such thing as too happy. Happy is good. Overjoyed just means happy, okay? Overbite. Now, some people, their teeth are not exactly aligned, so their top teeth stick out a little bit. And then their bottom teeth are behind. So these are the top teeth, these are the bottom teeth, so you have an overbite, okay? The top teeth stick out a little bit. And overkill is a little bit like overboard. Overkill means just too much of anything. So if you're giving someone a compliment and you just give them too much compliment, like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so this, you're so that, a little bit of overkill. Overkill is not a good thing. When you're giving too much of something, you're making it a little bit less meaningful. So not a good thing. And also a noun, nothing to do with the verb to kill, okay? So again, if you're not sure about any words like these, if you see a word and you're not sure what the combination means, make sure you look it up in a dictionary to confirm your guess or just to find out if you don't actually know, okay? But of course, if you're still not sure, you can go to engVid.com and ask me any questions in the comments section below. You can also take the quiz to make sure that you understand all of these words and how to use them. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like the video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked it. And come back for more grammar, vocab lessons, and all this other good stuff. Okay? I'll see you then. Bye-bye.